Good morning, everybody. How are you? I thought I would just sit and chat with you out here on the porch for a minute. Waiting for a few people to join in. So, check it out. We'll see if we have anybody join today. I have been out of town. Oh, Laurie's here. Yay. Hi, Laurie. I've been out of town on a multitude of trips. Oh gosh, I keep moving my phone the wrong way. Because, and Pam Davis is here. Hi, Pam. I've just been out of town a lot. So when Fran and I were looking at the calendar, I said, why don't I plan on doing one of the Village Vibes from on the road? So, I want to show you where I'm at. I'm going to reverse my camera and show you where I've been sewing this week. So, we are in, good morning, Anvil. Good morning, Laurie. Thanks for commenting. We are in, Keystone, South Dakota. We are just a few miles from Mount Rushmore, and we are here for a motorcycle rally. My husband rides motorcycles, and he asked me to come with him, and I went, I don't know if I want to go. There's a big motorcycle rally. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, in Sturgis, and it's happening right now. But what I have learned this week is that all the towns around do stuff for the rally. I actually haven't been to Sturgis, don't plan on going. We're about 45 minutes away from that. And then all the guys just ride. I don't know if you can hear the motorcycles. There's a road just over there. And I mean, I've probably 5,000 motorcycles have gone by this morning already. So I wanted to show you that I set myself up to be able to sew this weekend. So I've got my apron on. You guys know my apron that I sew with. And so I thought I'd give it a little tour. So here is our little deck. And so this cabin is kind of a duplex. And so Ken's riding buddy is over on the other side. And so I thought I would show you our little room and how I've got it set up. So one thing that's strange about this hotel room is we have no closets and no cupboards. So we have clothes in that dresser. We have food in that dresser. We have just a couple of hooks here on the wall. That's it. So, obviously we're living in a weird space for the week, but here is the room right now. So in that corner is our bathroom. And so I wanted to show you. So this table was in here when we got here. So I've kind of set my cutting mat on here. I brought this. It's not as big a one as I keep on my cutting table all the time. But this is hard because the camera's flipped. So sorry. But this works okay, but there is a bit of a lip on this table. This wood stands up taller than the glass, so it's kind of hard that way. But I want to show you what I brought to help. Also, I went ahead and put a small cutting mat on that one, just barely last night. Can't cut anything big on there, but I did kind of set that up. So those are all my project boxes that I brought, and I'm just trying to keep those kind of stacked up. And then I brought this table, and I brought this one, and I actually bought that one for this trip specifically. So it's a 4-foot table, but you can see that it folds in the middle. And so it fit in my car. I had a 4-foot one at home, but it didn't fit in the back of my car. I didn't bring a big car. So anyway, and I've got this table as well that I brought. It's probably not totally necessary, but I kind of can create a little nest situation here. I don't know how many of you like to sew in a nest. That's what I call it, a little nest. And then we have a little fridge and microwave. So I wanted to So just kind of show you my setup. One thing I wanted to point out, this cabin is very dark. We have no overhead lights. So this I actually bought when I got here, but I brought that little lamp and I have to turn them on. And then once it gets dark, I just can't anymore. So I'm going to set you on my little phone stand. And I made some notes about all the things I should tell you. So then I don't have to move the camera around as much, and maybe you guys don't have to get sick. So, okay, but first I wanted to say thanks to Deanna and Fran for filling in this last couple weeks while I've been gone. I know they've had some technical difficulties, and I feel bad. I feel like, anyway, but thank you to them. They were awesome, and I hope you enjoyed those village vibes. Although we've had a weird thing with Facebook kind of almost hiding our videos, so looks like people are watching now. Lisa's here, Ruth is here, or Ruth Ann. I'm not sure how you like to be called, but thank you for joining. And Pam, it is beautiful. So if you can see, I'll flip the camera one more time. So I set up in front of this window, and this has been my view as I've been sewing. So that has been just lovely to be able to be set up in front of a window, also to get some light. So some necessary things that I brought with me are slippers. It has actually been really cold here and very rainy. We've had rain most of the days. Sunday was a kind of decent day, but today we have sunshine and it's so lovely. So I brought slippers. The tables. So look ahead of time if you want to sew in like a hotel room or something. Look at pictures and stuff. I have stayed in hotels that have had lovely, oh, thanks, Ruth. Thanks. Oh, love to sew on the go. I know, isn't it so nice to be able to just make up time, get time when you can. Anyway, so I've stayed in some hotels that have had wonderful large desks and areas that you could set up. So look and see. If I would have had a desk in a hotel room, I probably wouldn't have had to bring my 4-foot table, and it would have been a little bit sturdier. I can't sew super fast because it's a little bouncy. So take a look, do it if you can, do a little bit of research before, if you know where you're going to go. Okay, these pressing tables. One of the things, these pressing tables, both of them fold up pretty darn flat. So that's one of the reasons why I brought them. And they're laptop tables. And so, hi Trisha, how are you? Trisha, are you the one that I ran into in Tremont? I would love for you to comment and let me know. So one of the things about the laptop tables is they have back legs, but they don't have front legs. So, that is really nice because I can just kind of swivel in my chair. Oh, good, Trisha. I thought that was you. So I love how the laptop tables don't have front legs, so I can just kind of pivot. And at home, I even use them because I could just pivot and swing my legs around. At home, I have a swivel chair, but I don't have one here. So anyway, cutting mats. Bring cutting mats. I feel like I brought several of different sizes because, make sure my iron's not on, because I just feel like it also kind of helps protect surfaces when you're at places that you don't know, One of the things that I love, my husband bought me for Christmas one year, is this folding cutting mat. So it's a pressing surface on one side and a cutting mat on the other. And so because these tables are just plastic, I actually fold this over and use the cutting or the pressing surface side. And then I did bring a wool mat that's almost exactly the same size. So that just sits right on there, and then I can press on that. So, okay. Oh, I need to show you this. So I got this as a gift actually from our sweet Roxy that I work with. And she got me this power tower. Can you guys see that? All my cords are in the way. It has USB plugs. And then what I've been doing at night is just flipping that switch off at at night. And so then I know that my iron's off, my lights are off, and everything's off. So that has been fabulous. And I'm going to try and link these things that you can get on Amazon, things that we don't sell in our store. I'll link them for you on the video afterwards. So the power tower has been lovely. And there's all kinds of power strip type things, but this one is just nice and tall, and I keep it in my travel bag actually. I went to our Pam Buddha retreat last weekend, and I took it and I was able to share with my whole table, and they were all able to have plugs and stuff. So very lovely. That is a very good thing to keep in your travel bag. And I was going to show you this bag. So I actually own an embroidery machine. And with my embroidery machine, I got this giant bag. I don't know if I'm showing it very well. For carrying around my embroidery arm. And it's got some nice inserts inside that keep the embroidery arm safe if I ever need to take it in for service or travel with it. Well, I don't travel with my embroidery machine. And even if I take my machine, I don't take my embroidery arm. I don't embroider very often. But I can pull out the inserts that hold the embroidery arm safe. They're just Velcroed in. And it is a fabulous travel bag. So I can keep a big cutting mat. I can keep my long rulers. So just find some sort of bag that you can take some of those bigger items in. It does not have to be an embroidery machine bag, but this one has worked perfect. So, okay. What I wish I had is my own chair. So this chair is not great, but it's working. Okay. So some things that some people like to travel with is just a cushion. They take it to a retreat or a class or whatever, because you never know what kind of chair you're going to have. So, I would suggest maybe, having a cushion in your travel bag or something. But my aunt Ann Beal, actually, who might be still watching, we were discussing that we really need to come up with a good like travel chair that kind of folds down pretty small, and you can take it. Because I don't necessarily need to be on wheels like I am at home. I'm on wheels at home, and I have a wood floor in my sewing room, so I can just wheel around. But I do like to swivel. So I wish I had that. If any of you know of something that's out there that's already created that folds up fairly small. Oh, there's a beautiful bird that just landed on our deck. It's one that I have not seen before. If I would have thought I could have switched my camera around fast enough, I would have. So anyway, we're a little tight in our car because we had to drop our kids off on our way. But anyway, so I couldn't bring a chair. Okay, some tips about traveling either to a retreat or to a hotel or whatever is try and cut out everything you can ahead of time. So I had one thing I had to cut out. In fact, I will show you. So I don't know if you remember, we've talked about this on Village Vibes before, but Corey Yoder is doing a free sew along, and the patterns are free. And she releases them on the third Saturday every month. And this is last month's because I'm behind. So this was July's months. But I'm doing it for the store. So I finish them and then I go take them to the store and display them. And I believe we still have a few kits. So if you'd like to do this, you can. But I've just been so busy. I did not have this pre-cut. And I've kind of got tables and stuff set up, but it was really kind of annoying to cut this here. So try and have things pre-cut, unless you know you're going to have a great sewing or cutting surface, like at a retreat or a retreat center or something. Just try and have it cut. And then also for me personally, I need to pay attention when I cut and not get distracted. And so if I'm at a retreat and there's a lot of people and a lot of noise, then sometimes I make unnecessary mistakes. So that's my first tip. So now everything else that I have that I've brought is pre-cut, so that I can just get it done. Okay, and one of the things, actually, Janet, I don't know if you're joining this morning. Janet Olson, she's one of our customers, and several years ago, her and I were at the same table at a Village Dry Goods retreat. And it was 3 days, and she had brought a different project to work on every day. And I thought that was such a good idea, because bring a variety of things to work on. So it's been fun to sit down, because I have maybe 5 or 6 things that I could work on. And I could just sit there and think, okay, what do I want to do today? And this one was pretty small. Like, all I had to do with this one block. So I actually started with this one. And then the other thing that I worked on is at our Pam Buddha retreat. This is one of the quilts that we worked on. It's just a mini. It's 14 by 14. But Pam taught us this. It's from her pattern, Haunted Halloween. It's one of the 3 projects that are there. So I did this as well. And this was also all pre-cut. And I had done 2 blocks, I believe, in class. So I had to do 14 more, I think. Nope. Yeah, 14 more, because there's 16 blocks in this. And then I finished it. So that's another nice thing, is bring something you can maybe finish. So I knew this was nice and small, and I could just get this done. So, in fact, last night we were out and about and doing things, and I got home and I thought, I think I can just go ahead and quickly finish that. I had all my blocks done, and I just had to hurry and sew them all together and put the borders on. So that was really fun. Okay, I brought a machine that is great. It's a machine I bought as a travel machine. And my mom and I kind of timeshare it. We kind of share it for when we travel. But you want to be careful when you sew on different machines. And so this machine, I know I've tested, and I know that it matches the stitch, the 1/4 inch stitch on my home machine. So I feel comfortable doing things on this machine and then going home and finishing on that machine. But that's not always the case. And so sometimes if you start a project on a machine, you probably will need to finish it on that machine, just to be safe, unless you've tested it like I have. So that's one thing to just kind of keep in mind, is to just check your stitch and make sure that they're the same, because that would be really sad. I actually have had one time when I did kind of do things on different machines, and it did kind of bite me in the butt. And I was very sad about it, and I had to redo blocks and unpick and do all sorts of things. So just check it. The other thing that this was my first experience. I've never traveled this far with a machine. So we had like a 13-hour drive or something to get here. We kind of took back roads, because that's how my husband prefers to ride on back roads than ride on big freeways. And when I got here, I had to make some adjustments to my machine. I had just sewn on this a week ago, but I think just the rattling in the car kind of messed it up. Like, my needle fell out shortly into sewing. I had to tighten that up, and I had to adjust my tension just a little bit. So if you're traveling a long distance, you may want to just do a quick little check on your machine when you unpack it, which I didn't realize until here, because I hadn't traveled this far. I've gone to, from home to Village Dry Goods for a class, or even to Logan sometimes for a class or a retreat or something, but good, just a thing to think about. And then another thing that I think is really fun when you travel is to visit quilt shops. So luckily my husband is totally cool and willing to let me go and come with me and do things. So we stopped in Casper, Wyoming on the way here for lunch. And there was a quilt shop right across the street from our hotel. And so we ran in. And I ended up finding a ruler that I wanted to add to my collection. So that was perfect. And then I visited one here in a little town called Hill City. It's called Farmer's Daughter. And it's kind of a gift shop with a little bit of a quilt corner. But they had some lovely things, and I ended up finding something to buy. And so that's kind of fun. And then there's 3 more quilt shops that I want to visit. One is down in Custer, and I think I might go to that one this afternoon. And then there's 2 in Rapid City, which is not that far away, maybe 20 minutes. And so I think I'll go to visit those tomorrow. So I've done a little bit of research and found their hours. One of the quilt shops in Rapid City is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. I believe Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. And so I just need to plan my trip accordingly if you have that much time to plan and go when they're open. So most of the time the hours on Google are usually pretty good, but you could try calling or checking a Facebook page or something if they're wrong. I have had times, one time I was in Ohio a couple of years ago and I tried to go to a quilt shop. It said it was open and I went and no one was there. So you never know, but I think it's so fun. And one of the things as working at Village Dry Goods is I love it when we have people come in and they say, I'm from really far away and I just thought I would stop by and see what your shop was about. And I love that because, not every quilt shop has been my favorite, because honestly, Village is my favorite. But it's fun to just go see what other people have and see. I love to look at other people's kits and things because everyone does different kits. A lot of times fabric is pretty similar from store to store. There's definitely a ton of fabric that Village doesn't have for sure. But Trisha, you like to go visit quilt shops too. So I just think it's so much fun. And if you're coming into our quilt shop, Village Dry Goods, and you haven't been in a while or you're coming from far away, tell us. We'd love to hear where people are from. We had a group of ladies from Texas, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago when I was working, and they were just like, hey, we came to Utah because we'd never been, and we decided to hit up quilt shops, and they were so cute and nice. And I think they were sisters. There was 4 sweet ladies, and I think they were sisters. But anyway, so I think it's super fun to visit. And the lady, in the farmer's daughter, the lady who was working was so nice and kind. So I'm excited to hit 3 more quilt shops on the way. And then actually we're stopping in Bozeman on the way home. And so I need to look in Bozeman, see if there's one I can go to there. So that's kind of what I wanted to tell you. I'm trying to think. Does anyone have any questions about sewing on the road? Now, I will say I'm kind of an overpacker. I don't pack light. So I threw things in, just because I just might need it. But also I knew that there'd be quilt shops or at least a Walmart nearby if I really needed something. Oh, looks like the guys are back from their morning ride. But I wanted to show you one thing really quick. So I have one of these Mister bottles. We've sold them. And anyway, but it's short. I don't know if you can see, it's really short. So I love traveling with this one. I just filled it up before I left and travel with this one. But I also travel with one of these Mister bottles in my bathroom, especially when I travel, and I just keep water in it. And so this morning when I pulled my shirt out of my dresser drawer, because I didn't have a place to hang it up, I just misted it really quickly with some water and put it on, and just my body heat has done enough. Now, could I go to a fancy 5-star restaurant looking like that? No, but can I, sew today? I can. So anyway, I am glad that you guys jumped on and joined with me today. Lydia's joining. Susan's joined. Oh, thanks everybody for joining. My husband just got back. You want to come say hi? This is my motorcycle rider.
How's it going?
So we are here together. Our anniversary is next week. Oh, Lori, thank you. Thank you. There's a quilt shop in Bozeman. She says we need to stop by. So luckily my husband is very, very patient with me and lets me stop. And he likes to go in quilt shops now too, because he's hung around me for a few years. 24 years next week. We're pretty excited. So this trip ended up working out perfect. Our kids are well taken care of by family, and so we are here. So anyway, everyone, I hope you have a great day. I hope the sun is shining where you're at, or that's the great thing about quilting, is that even if it's not good weather where you're at, you just jump in your sewing room and enjoy your time there. So anyway, we are going to go out and enjoy some sunshine today, I think, and I think we're going to go to Mount Rushmore tonight. So you guys are all great, and I'll post some links to some of the things I talked about today, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.